Thank you to all my channel members, including my fan appreciation level members and my contributor level members, for helping support the YouTube channel. Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my book review of the book Stone and Tide by Z.S. Diamante. This is the second book in the Stone and Sky trilogy. I did read last year the first book, Stone and Sky. I have a YouTube review of it, and I also read the short story collection that's like a prelude to the trilogy. And I read this back in I think it was September, or maybe it was October. I read this last year, and just, scheduling happened, and I had this on my April TBR. So I think if you watched my April TBR video, you probably saw this then too, and didn't get to it till just now. I literally was about to start reading this book when some stuff happened in life, and I cracked open the book, read the first chapter, and said, I cannot do this right now. Not because the book was bad, just because I was going through stuff. So I put it down, went to some other books, and picked it back up, and picked it back up in the end of June, and really enjoyed it. And so I'm glad that I waited, because I was in the right headspace this time. Stone and Tide is an epic fantasy book. It's part of, as I said, the Stone and Sky trilogy. It is very classic fantasy feeling with a few tropes that are newer, but it's very classic fantasy. If you're a fan of the Pern books, or if you're a fan of Terry Brooks's books, if you're a fan of the 60s and 70s fantasy in particular, I think that you will enjoy Stone and Tide, and this whole Stone and Sky trilogy, because it's very much like those. This one, I think, branches out a little bit more than Stone and Sky did in terms of the classic feeling, though. This one feels a little bit more modern in a few ways, but it's still very classic feeling overall. The premise of this book is that two of our characters, well, really three, but some of our characters are whisked away and are kidnapped by some bad people from the other landmass, Kelver. This landmass is Terrene, I believe it is. This landmass is where all other people are from, and they're kidnapped and taken over across the sea, the Gant Sea. And so because of this, our team has to figure out how to go rescue them, and has to make the decision to go rescue them. So the first half of the book is getting things in place for the first 150, 200 pages, and then our team goes across the Gant Sea and goes to rescue the people that were kidnapped. And there were parts of this book that worked so well. First of all, the character of Garen, who was the former king who has been deposed and is now he is now kind of in prison, but also trying to do the right thing. It's not entirely his fault, but they can't let him rule anymore, so that's why he's been deposed. They don't hate him, and so he's kind of trying to make up for the bad things he did as king. He is a great character, a absolutely great character to follow, and I particularly liked him in the first half of the book. In the first half of the book, we also follow the new king, Pendrin, or Perndrin, however you pronounce it. I think it's Perndrin. Anyway, Perndrin is a fantastic king, a fantastic character, and he is falling in love in this book with another character, Nira. And the way that Z.S. Diamante writes their romance is it's just delightful. It's just sweet. It's very appropriate. Z.S. Diamante writes appropriate books, so, these are adult books, but anyone could read it age-wise. And it's delightful and charming, their relationship, and I really appreciated it. The problem was their relationship is really only in the first half of the book, because one of them has to go off on the second half of the book, and so they're not together as much. As you can tell, I liked the first half of the book more than I liked the second half. The second half of the book is when more action scenes started, and that's when I started, to not follow it as much, and also not appreciate it as much. I did enjoy several elements in the second half, but when you look at it as a whole, I just felt that it was a little bit underwhelming. They realize big stuff's going on the other landmass, and then also there's things going on in their landmass because of the wizard and the sorcerer that's kind of causing this trouble. And most things get resolved, although there is a hook for the third book, which I do have somewhere on my shelves to get to eventually. But as a whole, when I'm looking at this book, I think it's pretty delightful. There are some other characters I didn't mention. Orin is a great character. I really enjoyed the character of Orin in this book. I also enjoyed the character of Izel, however you pronounce it. That was a character. That's a delightful character right there. He's pretty fun. And Merrick was pretty good in here, as was Ralowin and Ilaria. I thought they were well written as well. So yeah, pretty much all the main characters were written pretty well. One of my criticisms is I think that Diamani just wrote it a little bit too complex for what he had. There are authors who have the story that is designed and to perfectly be a huge protagonist story. Wheel of Time, and I would say the Game of Thrones series. Those are excellent, expansive series. And then there's other authors who have a very core group of people, and you never really leave that core group of people, and that works just fine. And then there's people in the middle. I feel, for my interpretation of the series, is that it should have pared down. There should have been a few fewer plot lines, more characters put together in like groups together so that their actions are together. And I think it would have streamlined the book, maybe cut off about 50 to 100 pages, and I think it would have made the book better. It's still an entertaining read, but I think it could have benefited from some of that stuff. I did enjoy, by the way, this cover by Katrina Strokoch is a gorgeous cover. I love this cover. And I know what scene this is based in the book, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, this is the way that Z.S. Diamani writes orcs is actually pretty delightful as well. So that is my review of Stone and Sky. If you've read Stone and Sky, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And it's not Stone and Sky, Stone and Tide. I'm so tired. If you've read this book, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.